on. Because the one that had been in fear had enjoyed the luxury of what I told you before. They enjoyed the luxury of playing around. So what God will do is let them operate in fear, and they'll leave the church, and he'll raise up faith in the church. And then because what he does now, he said, now let's really have some church. He said, because after all, they've been playing for so long. So what I'll do is raise up an Adam, and I'll make them know. If I didn't throw my topic on you, look at the person next to you and say, neighbor, can you survive the cut? That's really what it is. Can you survive the cut? Because you got to understand what he did here now is he had to put Adam to sleep, and he had to mess with the rib, and he had to cut him. And see, a lot of times Adams can't survive the cut. Oh God, in this place. So what he's doing right now, because there are many leaders who are on the scene can't survive the cut. He'll raise up those who's been through the cut of life, been through the cut of drugs and addiction, been through the cut of hurts and pain, church hurt, dealing with church blockers, dream busters and liars and scandals in the church. And he'll raise up those who did not die in the midst of the cut, in the midst of polling. You'll never be nothing. Your ministry will never go anywhere. You'll leave and walk away, and I won't anoint you. I won't celebrate you. I didn't release you. The devil is a lie. My anointing goes with me because I can survive the cut. Touch two people, say, I can survive the cut. This is the hour where God is raising up people of God that can survive the cut. I feel my help coming on. See, you got to understand what's happening right now. There's corruption in the land. There's deception in the land. The enemy is doing what he's doing right now. But God said, I'm raising up people who can survive the cut. Look at them, neighbor. Say, neighbor, can you survive the cut? Woo! Can you survive the pain? Can you survive this breaking? Can you survive this loss? Can you survive the dilemma? Can you survive what the enemy threw at you? Can you survive the divorce? Can you survive the scandal? Can you survive the wrap around you? Can you survive almost shooting yourself? Can you survive almost losing your mind? Can you survive all the stuff that you've been? So I raise up one who can survive the cut. Talk to people and say, can you survive the cut? When they came in and Jezebel seduced you, and she came against your mind, and she tried to break you down and say that she love you and separate your family, you got to understand, can you survive it? Can you survive your baby daddy mess? Can you survive the woman that left your mess? You got to know what I do is I send my voice in the garden looking for those who survive the cut. Talk to people and say, can you survive the cut? Can you survive the cut? So what I do now, I cause you to have to deal with the cut. You know how it is when you play sports and they have all the best of the best and you in reserve, but you lie in the cut. And when the reserve have to show up for the cut, when Paxton made the reserve shot in, I believe, 87, it was the hit of history. He survived the cut. But what was great about his shot is 10 years later, almost 20 years later, now he almost won the team. See, you got to make the shot that they're going to remember 20 years later. And to give you the authority to know that God have not forgot you in the midst of the cut. So what he does now is he prepare people who understand the word cut and understand the word survival. So now then what he does now, he said, have you been cut out for this one? Because a lot of people go in and they don't want to be operate, so they don't want to be cut on. But yet and still you can tattoo your body and do all those things excruciating by relationships and things that you've done, Adam. and go through all that you've been through. But what you do is you blame her for what you've done. It didn't happen until you ate. You ate the mess. But can you survive the cut now? What is God is about to do prophetically, men and women of God? You have to look at the dispensation that we're in, even from the government as well as the natural standpoint. Right now, it's quiet in the church realm, but in the political realm, God is emerging leaders right now. It's a fight for the oil, I told you. So he said, I raise up a prophetic person. So in the midst of the church dilemma, not into June yet, give it a little time, he'll raise up somebody. But what he does now is he lie leaders in the cut. Even the greatest leaders right now wondering what's going on. TBN ain't brought nothing out you. They're using all the old stuff. So what God does now is he lie you in the cut because he knows there's enough blood in the earth by way of what you've been through in your walk with the Lord. You know 2007 messed up. One of the things about 2007, I tell anybody, it messed up. Let me get to 2008. You know a lot of you been through some stuff in 2007. Some stuff you wasn't supposed to have been in. Some stuff that you got yourself in. It's just a miracle to get to 2008. Matter of fact, it's just a miracle to be in this place today with all the hell that's around you, with all the stuff that's going on in your mind, the war and the battleground that you fight. It's just a miracle getting yourself here without nobody knowing what you did last night. Oh, God, in this place, with the stuff that you've been through, the life that you live, the challenges that you've been faced with mentally and emotionally, to be in the place to say, I can survive the cut. Touch two people, say, can you survive this cut? So what he does now, he said, have you been cut out for this one? This is the hour where kingdom leader must have the intellect or the intelligence into intellect about people, pain, and problems. We ain't looking at the tithe no more because that's a stock option. They go up when you go up. They go down when you go down. But I'm looking for somebody who can deal with the pain and the problems of the people that are going through, because I'm so tired of people wanting my tithes and offering, and they don't want my heart. They don't know what I'm going through on my job, or to be where I'm at in God, or just to have a relationship with God. So what he does, pastor, is he raised up a man who have the heart of him. So I'll go looking for him because he's made of me anyway. And so since he's me, I'm looking for me, and I'll just walk my spirit to me and try to find what's wrong. So he goes into the garden and he takes his voice and he starts walking through it because he find out that his voice is my sound. That's the spirit. He said, now I'm looking for me. So I come through the garden asking for me. Where am I? So he speaks to the ground and he tells the ground, respond to me. And ground said, what happened is that I put dirt over me because I'm all messed up. So what God does is I raise up a person in the midst of it and recognize that he's going through a dilemma in a situation, and I'll release a sound in his spirit, and I'll raise up in peoples of God who defy the odds, who's willing to survive the cut and cut out for this one. That's why I use Esther, because the Jews were all messed up. He raises up an Esther in the midst of a dilemma, and he fired King Asa, a woman that he had, and he raises up one that will celebrate the man of God and bring him to the destiny and the place that he needs to be. You got to understand what God did for Ruth and Naomi. He sets them up and he prepares them for a dispensation. When you lose everything and you ain't got nothing left, God decides to use those who's cut out for his anointing. Touch two people, say, you cut out for the anointing. That's it. He says, come by 99th Street and say, tell the peoples, can you survive the anointing, or are you cut out for the anointing? If the president knew what he did over in Iraq, he wouldn't have did it, because they ain't getting nothing now. They won't get nothing out of the deal. His record or his rating have dropped. So God raises up somebody who will understand the anointing and release it. I'm so tired of preachers telling me, when you leave this place, the anointing stays here. The devil is a lie. I worked too hard to get where I am. I've been through pressure and pain. I'm a pastor kid. Densely wasn't here. It started in the foundation. You just keep your phony one. Don't mess with mine. It goes with me anyway. So you get to the place in your relationship with God, in the place of God. So he says, I look for people who willing to survive the cut. In other words, now survive simply mean to remain alive or in intense situation. In other words, to remain alive or in accidents or an accident. In other words, live on or continue to function or prosper. When you're able to survive, you're able to prosper through the dilemma. In other words, remain after the death or after the place of rest.